is week 3 of CTL. It's Bear Sloth versus All Inspiration. And we will be starting right away with the ace match. Bear Sloth. Right away we shall be starting with the ace match, which is a best of 3 between Viday Nevin, which I'm going to be calling Nevin, and our very own Animal Mother. So, here we go. The map is Odyssey, and in the bottom right we have Viday Nevin from Formless Bear Sloths, who is playing Zerg in pink. In the top left corner we have our very own All Inspirations Animal Mother as a Terran, who is orange today. We have a Le Wolof going down here from Animal Mother. Meanwhile, the Zerg is droning, which all Zergs like to do in early game, or well, most of them. I'm probably not one of them, although I've started droning quite hard lately, which has worked out fine, amazingly. And yeah, let's see if we can start out with a win this week, if Tom can bring home the best of 3. We have a hatch first from our Zerg here. And of course, a barracks first from Terran. I'm guessing there will be a Reaper, also there will be an SOE scout. I know that Animal Mother is scouting quite regularly, because he doesn't like surprises. And he does like to know if there's cheese coming his way or not. Standard, 17 hatch, 17 gas, 17 pool here. So might shape up to be a macro game, who knows, Zerg can still do crazy timing pushes, even with going hatch first. Let me just check a couple of things here. Yes, Sosa, all in for the fucking win. Let's hope we can take home week 3 as well, because then we will be up 3-0 so far in the season, and we will try to make our captain, the mighty Tech 4, proud by getting into the playoffs again and winning that fucking damn thing this time. Bottom expansion directly from Tom here. So since he doesn't see anything fishy going on at the Zerg, he's gonna expand right away. The Reaper's gonna do a follow-up scout, maybe snatch a drone or 2 if he can. And we have Speedlings. Also, Tom will be building a factory, and probably another factory after that, because he likes to go mech. He's quite the mechy Terran, and it's quite amazing the openings he can do. If you don't scout them, they can really fuck you up. So far, Zerg doesn't really know what's going on here. Yet, the Overlords are approaching the base, but no scout has been done so far. Reaper gets deterred here by the 4 initial Lings. Could jump up here, but there's an Overlord waiting for that, so for the moment he's content just sitting there regenerating his HP. And Speedlings are not quite done yet. He's gonna escort his drone, so this would be the perfect opportunity to try and do some damage. Although a Queen is out, he might snatch a drone or 2. And needs to take care that he doesn't get surrounded here by the Lings. Runs off with the Reaper and is going to spot the expansion or not. No, okay. And we have, amazingly, a starport coming up, so this is a 1-1 build, probably going into more factories later once he has more gas, and using the barracks as an add-on producing unit. This looks like his Banshee opening. He's gonna go Hellions and then directly Cloaked Banshee, I'm guessing. Yes, here we go. Thank you, Tom, for not proving me wrong. The Banshees might be the Hellions will try to run by and roast some shit, and the Banshee will really get to town. There has not been a scout yet. Now there's some Lings incoming. I hope Tom can kill them before they run up and see everything. Well, the starport should be out of range. Let us just check that quickly. Yep, starport has not been shown. He knows that there's a factory with a tech lab, so that could mean a lot of Banshees or cars built, but he hasn't spotted the Banshee yet. And nonetheless he's building spore crawlers, because he's a cautious Zerg. And if a Banshee hits you unprepared, you're really fucked as Zerg. Because obviously you're not gonna have a layer finished, you won't have detection, and you can't kill shit. If it's cloaked, you don't have detection, obviously. Meanwhile, Zerg seems to be going the roach path, which is not too bad versus mech, I guess. No upgrades yet for the player, but a strong push with roaches incoming soon. He's building 10 roaches now. He might be expecting a cars push, but there's only Hellions out so far. But they will transform into Hellbats as soon as they arrive and try to take out the third here. Probably not gonna happen. I don't know. There's a lot of... yeah, they might actually kill this roach ball. I mean, he's not producing anymore. He's getting these Evo chambers now for upgrades. Tom keeps building Hellions, and these 8 Hellbats might actually do a lot of damage. They will at least kill this queen pretty fast. And with the Hellion support, they might even take out these roaches, especially if they move in such a tight space. Yeah, with the queens transfusing, or at least helping, I think Tom will have to retreat. And he does. There is no Spore Crawler, however, here yet. He's moving it down now and burning it, which burns pretty fast, so the Banshee won't be able to hit anything here. But Tom will be able to find some openings here. Currently, the Zerg is a bit down in workers if we compare it to the Terran, because as a Zerg he should be up by a couple of workers. But as soon as he solidifies his position here, he will drone up the third as well. He built 3 additional Spore Crawlers. He seems to be really... he seems to be having bad experiences with Banshees so far. Although I guess it's fair to do that. I mean, it enables you to move away with the units and stuff. Don't have to split the queens too well. Meanwhile, at the Terran base, we have a peculiar wall-off here with a command center, orbital commands, and we have a lot of factories going down because mech is cool. And if Zerg gives the Terran too much time here, there will be a strong push coming his way. Currently, Zerg is happily building tech layer upgrades and creep, of course. The creep strat is actually pretty nice for this state of the game. This will force Tom, which is Animal Mother's real name, I guess, will force him to choose either a weird attack path or clean out creep before he attacks, so run-bys will be very, very much harder because it gives the Zerg so much time to get in place. Tom decides to take his third here. It's always nice if you can take a third before the Zerg has taken his fourth, and it will put pressure on the Zerg to do something or take his fourth immediately. More roaches are being made, roach speed is on the way, Aspire is going up Hydra then. So Zerg is setting up his Queen Hydra roach composition, I guess. We'll probably add in some Corruptors or Mutas to deal with the Banshees a bit better. Although, I mean, his bases are pretty safe so far. The fourth is of course not protected yet, but hasn't been spotted either. And yeah, we see some siege tanks and other mechy units out of Tom here, who's really going to kickstart his production soon, I guess. Some Banshees are moving down there, but there's 5 Queens and an Overseer waiting, so they're not going to be able to do much there. I like that the Zerg has split his units a bit to deal with run-bys, so all the drones are basically protected by about 8 to 10 roaches. These one from up here and these ones here at the entrance to the expo and main. Of course, the fourth is a bit exposed now, but I'm guessing he will move some units there soon to protect. There's currently nothing here, so he'll be able to snipe 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 drones. And the main, as we noticed before, is very well protected by spine crawlers. Might actually snipe the queen if he's ballsy, but it's gonna be dicey, and he's not gonna be able to stop the upgrades. It's too late for that, at least the Hydra upgrade. Gonna try to take out the roach worm, but the queen is in position. He's also scanning somewhere. I missed that. Oh well. And there the mutas come out. Currently there's no overseer here, but this will change very quickly. He might still get... Yes! Took out the spire. There's mutas out now. 6, 9, 8 mutas. 8 mutas are out, which will definitely clean up the banshees pretty quickly. And will also pose a threat to Tom's mineral lines. He already built some missile turrets, and he's gonna add a couple more just to protect his production, so if the mutas want to do damage they have to dive in. And mutas usually don't like to do that because they're not the most HP heavy unit in the game. They regenerate pretty quickly, but if they're under fire they also die very quickly. Nice SimCity setup here with the siege tank in the back, so he can't be attacked right away. It's probably either gonna be a fourth base or gonna be turned into a planetary, I guess, for additional defense. I don't know, maybe he's also waiting to see what's happening. Mutas swooping in here. And now we have the production exposed because the missile turrets weren't ready. And actually we don't have a single missile turret defending the main, which is a bit of a dicey situation. The Tor is now coming in, helping. And we'll eventually clean up these mutas. I'm not sure that was worth it. He killed, I think, about 10 SCVs. Might have been worth it, I don't know. Versus Terran it's always hard to tell. Anyway, Zerg is sitting at a comfortable 77 drone, which is when Zerg can usually go up to Hive, which is exactly what he's doing. He has to remake the Spire in order to get 2 Broodlords. Tom, meanwhile, having +2 on the way. The Zerg has +2 finished. But +2 mech is pretty strong, so we'll see how that's gonna go with the Thors and everything. This army looks fantastic. Although Hydras are pretty good versus mech, I guess. Not as good as Lurkers, and there's no Lurker then on the way, but this army, if the siege tanks are not set up nicely, this army will shred the mech army. He's pretty nicely defended so far. Zerg is probably gonna try and see if he can come in from the south in order to get Tom out of position, but the siege tanks are not even set up yet. And the Zerg moves back and forth and checks for bases and stuff. And he will notice that the Terran is only on 3 bases, which makes him feel good because he's on 5. And that feels good as a Zerg. Creep spreads almost across the map. And this will of course allow to reinforce pretty quickly. Zerg is maxed at this point, even though the army size is almost the same. Tom spots this army here, scans it and sees that's a lot of stuff. Starting 3 trees does Zerg, and Tom's 2-2 will finish up before this fight happens, which is very good because he will be equal on upgrades. Hopefully starting 3-3 for mech soon as well, if he has the money. Currently taking the watchtower, taking the map vision from Terran is always a nice thing to do, especially if you have creep all over the map. And I don't think Terran can really lure Zerg into position here. I mean, it's a bit... Zerg's not gonna commit here, I think. Loses some Zergling there, freeing up some supply that's not needed at the moment. And looks like Tom is planning to push forward. He's now maxed, and his army is quite a bit bigger than the Zerg's. So if he can get a nice engagement here, he might actually take this army out. But I mean, look at the bank of the Zerg. He's 5,000 to 2,000. And can pretty much make about, I don't know, 40 Hydras at once if he needs to, or even more Roaches, so he can remax pretty quickly. There's also 59 Larva out, so yeah, whatever the Zerg loses he will replace with potentially stronger units. This means Hydras, 3 trees not started yet for Tom, which I don't like. I hope he's gonna do that soon, because if the Zerg hits 3-3 will be behind in upgrades, which is something you never want to be as a Terran. Zerg is getting mass Evo chambers as food for the Vipers, I guess. And yeah, the longer Tom waits here to attack or to do damage, the stronger the Zerg's composition will become. Vipers are really good versus mech because if controlled correctly they can just drag out the units one by one into the enemy into the midst of the enemy. I don't like that Zerg is committing so heavily here, though the lightning cloud of course helps. But Zerg's army is just melting. He's down 50% in army supply. And I'm not sure if Tom realized this, but he could easily take out this base and the base left of it as well. And this will put Zerg back to about one full mining base, I guess, if we count these two together, yeah. So these are the two most mining bases at the moment for Zerg. So if Tom can take these out, he's gonna be in a pretty good spot. He's prepared to take a fourth and a fifth at home, I can see here. No, this is actually Talentary. So he's prepared to take his fourth. And more Hydras coming in, melting. The bank is down to about half of it, what it was before. And there's only 17 larvae left at the moment, so it gives Tom a little bit of breathing room. I don't know why Terrans don't bring some SCVs to repair the heavy Tor units. I think that would greatly benefit in value, but I'm not sure. Maybe they just die. And Animal Mother takes the first game, which is awesome. How can I hide the time, guys? That would be awesome to do, because I've asked this last time. I haven't found out yet. I guess I could switch to the normal Observer UI instead of the old Game Heart, I guess. What do you think, guys? Let's wait for an answer from chat real quick. Answer me! Well, we try with the default one for now. Maybe I can hide it there. Maybe it's somewhere in the options, I don't know. Display replay time info would be this, huh? Okay, let's try Game Art again then. Accept. Return to game, and we go into set 2. Game 2 of set 7. Vedainevin versus Animal Mother. And we have Abyssal Reeve as the match. Currently, All-In is leading in this best of 3 with Animal Mother, taking game 1. And looky, the time info is gone. This should make Cruel happy. Yay. Okay, we have Nevin, the pink Zerg, in the bottom right of Abyssal Reef, playing 4 formless bear sloths. And in the top left, our hero, our clan brother, my friend from Europe, my server mate. It's All Inspirations Animal Mother as a Turin in orange. Nothing much going on here. I'm guessing they will open the same way again, unless Vedainevin chooses to cheese here, which is not what it looks like. It looks like he's gonna take a 17 hatch again. So playing standard, perhaps gonna be adjusting the unit composition a bit, taking better engagements, maybe earlier upgrades, I don't know. I mean, the upgrades were pretty good last game for Zerg. Guess nothing much to improve there. But he might go Swarm Hosts. I think Swarm Hosts are pretty strong versus Mech at the moment, and so does Thumb. So Tech4 has been teaching us a bit how to do that, and it's worked out quite well so far. If you happen to run across a Terran in ladder that actually does Swarm Hosts, that actually does Mech, which I guess is happening more now, especially with the new Thor buff. I think 1 armor or 2 armor more for the Thor now. Makes them a bit more sturdier versus Zerglings and Swarm Hosts also, I guess. And I'm wondering when I will see the 1 Thor or 3 SCV play come in as an all-in again from Terran. Since with the plus armor it should be pretty good now. That was always a strong build, I think. And very memey, of course. Tom again taking the low ground expansion since he saw nothing going on with his SCV. Swapping out... he flew it over to build the depot there. just being safe. Although the wall's not even complete yet. It's gonna be completed any second here by this SCV, I guess. The 4 links, the Reaper defense links are out. Queens are on the way. Speed is on the way for Zerg. And we have a reactor because there will be Hellions again from Tom. I mean, it worked last game. Why shouldn't it work this game? Maybe he might even find some damage this time with the Hellions. Although on this map it's even harder, I think, because the natural is really well protected here by this choke. And once you establish your third, you really only have to defend here and possibly have something at the rocks here. Then you can basically take like 5 bases by defending 2 or 3 entry points, which is not too bad. But Zerg usually doesn't spread too much creep up here, and thus the run-bys coming from here will sometimes surprise you. Hellions are on the way, speed's almost finished, so the Reaper is gonna have a timer on him, because once the speedlings are out, it's gonna be very difficult for the Reaper to do anything here. Trying to take down the hatchery's life points, so maybe the Hellbats after, or the Hellions can finish it off, which is not too bad. If you look here, it should be about here, so he took out, well, there come the links, so it won't be that much, maybe 300 HP taken out, and the Reaper dies through neglect. Neglecting the Reaper, poor guy, just dying there. Roach Warren again for Vedanevin here for our Zerg. I guess he's expecting the mech again. It's pretty well known that Animal Mother does pretty much anything but bio, so which leaves mech. Also the preemptive spore crawler, no scouting was done, and yet we have a spore crawler. Has he seen anything with the Overlord there? Oh, actually he might have seen, yeah, he saw the factory, so he knows what's coming. Same build again, Hellions. Roaches are out, Hellions are preparing. Actually this time we have a Karst build, which is pretty strong versus Roaches. I like this a lot. You really want Banelings to deal with this, I feel, or maybe Ravagers. This push is very, very strong, and he's moving across the map actually looking for some damage, and this might end badly for him if he's at the other side of the map when Terran army is out. And I think with the high ground here and the units coming out, which, this is so good. The Cyclones are really good at defending versus Roaches behind the wall, although there's a lot of Roaches. But Tom should really attack with this now, because there's nothing to defend at home. If he can get inside the mineral lines, he will roast them. Ravager's pretty strong versus these units. And Tom is pulling the boys, and okay, he's taking out the third, but he really needs to do economic damage. He needs to take out everything that's down here. Just A-click and then focus on the defense. Don't move back at any cost. Maybe try to force a base trade. Since you're Terran, you can float your shit away. And if you can take out all of Zerg's bases, Zerg is fucked. And looks like he's gonna take out the second base again as well here. It's gonna be a dicey spot. Production's going down now. One more Cyclone's gonna come out and another one here. But it's not gonna be enough to hold this back. And I think he should stay there around this. It would just die instantly, the reinforcements. But of course Tom is under a lot of pressure because he realizes that he needs to do damage now. He needs to kill the Zerg. And this might be very, very, very tight. The drones are not going to do much against the Hellbats. They're just going to melt. But the Roaches from two sides now might be taking out the army. Meanwhile, at the base here, we have one CC down here, but the rest is going down. There's not going to be any production, not going to be any SCVs. He's floating 1,000 minerals. And he needs to take out all the buildings. He cannot let the drones get away. The drones need to die. And they will. I don't think there's another drone left, is there? There's 5 drones left. Oh, he snuck out 5 drones. This is not going to be good, because Tom barely has the DPS to deal with these Roaches. There's going to be more Roaches coming out, because the Zerg was floating as well, and Tom is forced to call GG. This was very close. Very, very close game with the base trade. And, yeah, Formless Berschloss bringing it back in the ace match. It's 1-1 now, and we're going into game 3 right now. Game 3 on Ascension to Ire. In the bottom right of Ascension to Ire, pretty in pink, we have Formless Berfloss with a Nevin. And in the top left, our hero. Trying to win the ace match for all inspiration, we have Animal Mother as an orange Terran. Let's see if they both try to play standard again this time. I mean, it was a bit of a weird push last time that just ended the game for Animal Mother, or better, resulted in a game, in a base trade. But I guess, yeah, I don't know, what do you do in this situation? You're gonna be late to come back. If he had come back, he would have taken out the Roach Force easily, but then he wouldn't have done any damage, which basically is the purpose to do this push. I bet you're cutting workers somewhere there to get this working this fast. Not that I would know, but I'm just guessing, because usually that's how it works, with the timing pushes. Zerg was of course also cutting drones quite heavily to build the Roach Force up and try to do something. But it was still pretty late, and I'm sure Tom would have had enough units out to defend. But he also wouldn't have done any damage. Maybe try to run by with 3 or 4 Hellions and do damage since there's nothing at home for the Zerg, but he didn't spot the move out, so he didn't know, of course, until they were at his doorstep. And by that point, to just leave like 2 or 3 Hellbats behind, when the Zerg can produce units so fast, you lose the element of surprise, and then he will just produce 8 roaches and kill you. So let's see what Tom has planned this game for us. He's of course building the Reaper again. No SCV scout this time? Ah, yes, there it is, of course. As I said, Tom likes to scout every game, to be sure there's no cheesy shit coming. Pool's about to finish for Zerg, and at this point we see if he goes for an early Roach or Ravager push, but it doesn't look like it for now. He's just droning up, building some safety links for the Reaper defense, and building queens, plus Zergling speed. Meanwhile at home the factory is of course going down. Second gas being taken here, and the low base expansion is being built. So far the players have been very standard in their openings, opening the same way. Tom going for the Banshee push the first game, and the Hellbat Cyclone timing the second game. While Zerg got earlier Roaches the second game and just moved across the map to kill the Terran ultimately. And once you lose your production as Terran, there's no coming back. If you're down in units, you're fucked. Since Zerg can easily morph a lot of buildings with their 5 drones, so correct decision there to call GG. Trying to delay the hatchery for a bit here, the third, and probably gonna lose the Reaper in the process. He delayed the hatchery very minusculely. He's 315 now, so that's still fine for the Zerg. And losing the Reaper there, of course, denies him any further map control or map vision. Starport coming up, so this looks again like the Banshee build he did in the first game, and an Overlord's gonna move in and is gonna spot this immediately, so he knows what's coming. Since there is no anti-air for the Terran with this build, not gonna be much doing about the Overlord. Sees the 111 here, sees the tech lab building, and this can only mean cloaked Banshees. And I'm guessing he will drop Spore Crawlers pretty much instantly now to be safe versus the Banshees again. At this point it might be wise for Terran to just drop the cloak, to stop the cloak and prepare for a strong base push, because as we saw last game, he likes to take 2 Spore Crawlers per base, which puts him behind a bit in drones. So a strong timing push without Banshee could actually do a lot of damage, I think. Of course, this is pure speculation since I'm not a Terran myself. But I think building 6 Spore Crawlers will really put you behind in the early game just to defend one Banshee. Armory is coming up, so we're gonna have Hellbats again. With the Banshee there's no Cyclones this game. And we have a strong push coming out again, and if Teradin spots this, he will be very, very pleased, because with the Banshee he's gonna be able to pick at this army while it moves. And once it hits his base, he will be way, way, way weaker. But don't lose your Hellions, dude! What are you doing? No! Run! Bring the Banshee out here! Kill everything with your Banshee, quick! Can't lose these units. Bring the Banshees! This is a scary push, actually. He will get picked at here, but he loses all the Hellions without even transforming them into Hellbats. And he needs to take out the Ravagers first. The Ravagers do so much splash damage versus the buildings, and are definitely the biggest threat here. Build some Cyclones to kill the Roaches, and then you're good. He's still gonna lose a lot of SCVs here since there's nothing more to defend. Actually, he's not gonna lose any SCV. That was pretty well played. And the push pretty much gets shut down here. He lost some SCVs now. I'm sure we can somehow see how we lost the units, if I only could remember. It's lost units. Ah well. There's some way to see, I know, but I don't remember. Units killed, control and R. There we go. 5 workers I've killed, that's not too much, I think, for holding this push. So I'm feeling pretty confident that... What was this? Seriously? Control R. Okay. So I think Tom is feeling pretty good now. His 3 Banshees coming up, but there's Spoke Rollers everywhere. And there's no ground units anymore to run in at the moment. He's just rebuilding those, rebuilding the command center here, rebuilding the depots. But yeah, Zerg committed pretty heavily here, but has droned up quite nicely now to 54. And with the 5 SCVs lost, that puts Animal Motor 20 SCVs behind. Which is not too bad, I guess, with the mules, but now he just used scans, which will put him farther behind, and there's... Actually, the main mineral line is not protected at all here. And 3 Banshees are easily enough to kill a queen, even 2 if needs be. He's gonna find some drone damage here, and we're gonna have 7 worker killed so far, so this puts him nicely back into the game. He's even gonna take out the Roach Warren. If he does this and gears up for a big push, there will be no roaches incoming. There's a Hydra Den going up now. And that's way too much queens now to deal with these 3 Banshees, especially if there's detection out. So he's gonna hightail it out of there, gonna have to fly over the range of this Spore Crawler possibly, yes. Only gets 1 or 2 hits up off though, and still gonna be annoying, almost takes out the second queen. And yeah, nice harass with the Banshees there. A total of 8 workers killed to 5 by the first initial push of the Zerg. 3 base to 2, so still in a good spot, catching up a bit in the SCV count. And we have a lot of Hellions here, just waiting to strike. 3rd going down for Animal Mother now. 10 more drones being produced for the Zerg. First Thor is on the way as well. Not even a Muta switch inside though, but Thor is very good versus Roaches again, since they have big fucking guns to shoot with. And a nice range. Here comes the run by, looking for some more prone kills, getting 3 more in the process, 3 more. Nice harass here, but still Zerg is up 16 workers. And all the Hellions get cleaned out, so this puts sets Teradin back quite a bit in supply overall. Of course there's still mining going on with the mules. 4th is going down now for the Zerg, feeling confident enough to take this. Creep spread's not quite as good as last game we saw, as the first game that we saw. But it's getting there. There's a lot of queens out now to defend and to spread creep. Hydralisk then is finished as well. Roach speed coming up. Overlord speed, he might start to drop, or maybe it's just for scouting. Meanwhile in the Terran base we have a lot of factories, as is to be expected. Getting a second armory for the upgrades and engineering bay as well. for a possible missile turret advent, although I think he needs one to build the armory, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Doesn't need an eBay to build an armory? Okay. Did not know that. And the army for Terran is actually looking pretty nice here. Although we can see that Zerg this time is up in army supply, though that's probably mostly roaches. Actually only 5 roaches and 9 ravages. I mean, ravages cost 3 supply, I think. So that's a lot of supply there. And Zerg is looking like this is much more ravager heavy than last time. Last time it was almost pure roach and hydra. This time we have a lot of ravagers here. That's a lot of gas running around the map. And if Terradin can take out this push, he will have destroyed a shit ton of gas. But the question is, can he? Because the biles are gonna do a ton of damage versus the tanks, possibly just one-shotting them with 3 biles at a time, or 4, I'm not sure again anymore. Upgrades are pretty equal. The attack upgrade for Terran will be done a bit quicker, and the defense upgrade for Zerg will be done a bit quicker than the Terrans. Tanks are not sieged though, which will cost Terradin a lot of damage. And there comes the biles, taking out 3, 4 tanks at once. There's still tanks on the high ground, but this base is in mortal peril. And Ravagers are pretty good versus mech as well, because they're not armored units. Of course the Banshees are still there, but this time we have Hydras, and is he gonna be able to take out the Hydras? Yes. Nice. So he's gonna be able to stop this at any rate, but his 3rd is down. He's building a 3rd and the 4th right now. This one is gonna get done, maybe not. Ah, he cancelled it. Very nice. And the last Ravager dies, but meanwhile Zerg has taken a 4th and is starting to drone this up as well. Zerg did not drone, as it looks like, during all of this. And amazingly, he only killed about 11 workers when he attacked this base, which is actually very nice. But the next push is consisting almost purely of Hydra. Since there's not a lot of tanks left, that's actually gonna be pretty good. Although Hellbats are gonna do nicely versus Hydra if they can get in range. And I'm not sure why Zerg is pushing this attack now. It's only a couple of Hydras and 2 roaches, and they're walking right into the tank line. Getting his nose bloody there is the Zerg. Nice defense here, the 4 siege tanks. And Zerg's gonna try another angle. There's nothing to defend this, but Terradin of course expects something like that and is gonna reposition his stuff. Maybe Zerg was only checking for an expansion here, is gonna use a changeling to see what's happening, and since Terradin doesn't have marines, I'm guessing he will notice this right away and kill it. Maybe? I don't know. And now, once again the expansion is undefended, and from this side he will actually have a nice attack angle. Tom noticing this as well, moving the army back, and this is gonna be a planetary fortress again. Once that stands, he's gonna be in a pretty decent spot to defend this base. But there's more units, mostly roaches now coming in, some hydras as well, to reinforce the Zerg's push. But there's a nice tank count now, and if Zerg attacks into this tank line, he's gonna get whacked. If the tanks are being sieged up. And since Tom now knows where the push seems to be coming from, he's gonna form a nice line, and once the Zerg runs into that, he's gonna get fucked up. Hive on the way now for the Zerg planetary fortress to defend here, which I like a lot, although I think the position would be nicer there. Zerg, although, has retreated now with the push, and is gonna come from the same angle again, because why not? I don't think this is really breakable for Zerg without anything else than Roach and Hydra. I mean, these Roaches are just gonna get destroyed immediately. He did that not to free up supply, but just to check where the tank was for some reason. And meanwhile, taking another base is the Zerg, because while he can put pressure on Terradin here, he can easily take another base. I think a run-by would be really nice. Like, take 4 or 6 Hellions, run by from this side, run by from this side. This would really do a lot of damage, Since the Zerg then has to split his attention, cannot focus on the push, and has to possibly remake drones instead of units, so this will delay his max out. And personally, in the late game, which we have reached now, I guess, the run-bys with the Hellions, if I play versus mech, are really what are killing me. If there's constant run-bys, you always have to leave some units at home, and this diminishes your pushing force a lot. These Liberators, of course, will help Tom to secure his 4th base, and once that's secured, he'll be in a nice spot to maybe build up a little bit of a bank, since by then he should be maxed as well. And trying to run by here with Hellions, getting unlucky and running directly into the Hydra Force. I like the unit placement here from the Zerg. It's going to spot any run by coming from the south, and of course the north here is pretty well protected by this huge ball of army, which he now splits, and he's going to do a split push versus the upper and lower base here. This is probably just a distraction, while this actually does the damage, but getting spotted here by Teradin, and if he moves everything away, yeah, I guess he leaves 4 siege tanks there, so that should be fine. And I guess these siege tanks here should be able to take care of this push, no problem, especially with the Liberator helping out. And there's a huge flock of mutas coming in, and this will hit Tom completely by surprise. There's no anti-air whatsoever on the field except 2 Tors, which is not going to do the trick. This is a butt ton of Mutalisks, Jesus Christ. Holy shit, 21 Mutalisks here. And 2 Thor is not gonna do it. He's gonna lose a lot of SCVs. The missile turrets are not up in time, and this might very well just win the game for Formless Bear Sloth here. Doing a lot of damage. Taking out the valuable siege tanks and the Vikings and the Liberator. There's a missile turret out now, but production is unprotected. And since the mutas are magic boxed, or were magic boxed, the Liberator will not do a lot of damage to them, neither will the Thor. Now they're actually clumping up quite a bit, and some anti-air might do a lot of damage, but the Thor just goes down. And he's afraid there's gonna be another push here. Of course, there's nothing that can shoot up in this army, so might as well move it into position. And the mutas are getting shoot away, but the low and high ground here, there's not enough SCVs to repair this, and the SCVs of course die to the bouncing damage, so damage is being dealt here anyway. The muta count is not low, is thinning out now, but they've done their damage. There have been 42 workers killed in total. I think about 30 of those were by the mutas alone, and Zerg is pretty much taking any base he can now. Even moving over the middle of the map here, so Teradin is 1 base down. No matter what he does, he's gonna have to fight the Zerg for one of these bases. 4 mutas still trying to be annoying here, but once the missile turrets are up, they're gonna be fine. Taking out another SCV there, here, and here, which is very annoying and very costly for Tom. I'm not sure, but I think at this point, I'm not sure. Can you even push just Broodlords out now, of course? So, how do you deal with Broodlords? You technically normally need ghosts. But how do you deal with Broodlords if you're mech Terran? I have no idea. I mean, Thors are not bad, of course, but they have to get in range, and if there's Muta and Hydralisk underneath, I'm not sure if they can. Vikings, but the Vikings got destroyed by the Mutalisks, the 3 he had. He started to build up a Viking count there. So yeah, Tom's in a bit of a pickle, and the Zerg might just start to siege every side that there is. Boy, they really nerfed the Liberator, huh? Versus Mutas. That's hilarious. They don't do shit anymore. The Broodlord flock, which is fucking huge. Shit, 12 Broodlords. Oh my god. Look at that skin too. Makes them look even scarier and bigger. Yeah, there's not much to contend with this. I mean, the mech's not gonna have Ghost, and once Animal Mother sees this, he actually decides to just GG and say, oh no, I'm not dealing with this. Thus, Vedanevin putting Formless Bear Sloth up 1-0 in this best of 7. Well played, Tom. You fought valiantly. I think you lost this game because of not knowing what the Zerg was tech switching to. Of course, that's difficult to know. But yeah, the Mutas basically cost you the game, I think, and gave the Zerg a lot of time to prepare. Next up, we have Lumia versus Millennium. It's gonna be another TVZ. This time the Terran is on our side again, which is quite peculiar. Normally we have a team of Zergs competing for us. Nice to see some Terrans hanging in there and kicking ass. And this is Blood Boil, which is a weird map. And in the top left, in pink, we have Formless Bear Sloths, Genesis as Zerg. And in the bottom right, we have All Inspirations, Lumia as a Red Terran. Let's see what Lumia does. Can he restore the honor of All Inspiration by putting us back into 1-1, or are we gonna be down 2 games by the end of this game? 2 points, of course. So yeah, Blood Boil with the weird 20 drone mineral patch and 1 gas here in the back, and the rocks here to connect your natural, and the rocks here that can collapse, and the fucking long way all around here, more rocks, sensor towers, 4 of them. There's a lot of stuff on this map, and sometimes it can be really hard to scout back here if you're not if you don't have speed overlords, or you just have to sneak them in here, and if you put some marine there you cannot get in here. So it's sometimes hard to scout. You have to go a really long way around to scout this back base. Or just scan, of course, or, I don't know, build an observer as Protoss, I guess. Zerg taking the forward base, though. Maybe he wants to do a gas-heavy style where he needs 2 gases instead of 1. Back base will give you more minerals. Front base is gonna give you more gas. Also, usually, most of the Zergs prefer to take the front base to give the creep spread a kickstart. Nothing out of the ordinary here from Genesis, going echoey with the hatch first into gas pool. And of course Lumia taking an early third as well, taking the safer one here in that back, because speedlings are a pain in the ass if you have an exposed base which is accessible from 2 sides. And the factory going down, which is of course also very standard. Reaper gonna be able to scout what is going on, which is currently nothing. There's 4 lings coming out to deter the Reaper from doing any drone kills if possible. And they're also gonna be in time to do that. Unless Zerg gets cocky with the lings, there's maybe 1 or 2 probes in it for Lumia if not controlled correctly. And he's gonna get 1 at least. The second one's probably not gonna die because the Queen's out now and the lings are coming in. And Lumia decides to get the fuck out of there and barely makes it to the ground. Oh, barely. Well, he is half HP, so it's fine. Well, damage dealt. 1 drone is down, which is nice. Another one is pretty low. So that's fine, I guess. And there's another Queen waiting already for the Reaper. And he will have to go all the way around if he wants to do damage here. Of course, you can jump off here and pick off a probe if you're fast enough. But at this point, I think the Reaper just wants to scout and see the Zerg moving out. We have a 1-1-1 out of Lumia, so I'm guessing something with Banshees. Is Lumia meching again? Is Lumia meching as well? It's awesome. Looks like it. Maybe it's just a... It sure looks like it. It's gonna be a Cloak Banshee, I think. Yes, it is. Nice. So Lumia are doing actually the same as Animal Mother did in Game 1 and Game 3 of his series. It looks like it. It's gonna be Cars and Banshee. So, Hellions and Banshee. And of course, Lings fucking die to Hellions. And Banshees are very good versus Banelings. If they're home when the Banelings hit, because this is gonna be a Baneling bust. And yeah, let's see if the Banshees can kill enough Lings or kill enough Banelings for them not to be able to get through. Does he know it's coming? I don't think so. 1 Ling is gonna scout here. That's a lot of Banelings. Definitely gonna be able to kill this wall. The Banshee's gonna pop soon, and he knows to keep it at home, and he should immediately start to focus down Banelings because the wall is down now. And if the Lynx surround the Hellions, they will do a lot of damage, but I guess Lumia should be able to hold this. And this will put him in a really nice spot. He lost 2 depots and I think 1 Hellion there. And Zerg lost so much larva. Jesus, look at this 20 to 33. Army supply, worker supply. 3 banelings dying, they're doing absolutely nothing, and Hellions are out on the map now. Map control is totally in Terran's hand, and he's gonna be out for blood. There's no Roach Warren in the way, there's only banelings and Lynx to deal with this, and that's a lot of Hellions. He's gonna start roasting drones, and Zerglings do pretty well versus Hellions if they can surround them, but if not, then they're just dead meat on a stick, roasted by flame. And clearing out the natural, pretty much. Let's see what he did here. 5 workers killed so far, 1 was from Reaper, 7 workers killed. And this attack is gonna end now, but the damage was done. He's up twice the worker supply now, so Lumia is in an amazing spot right now economically, and he's putting down barracks to switch into bio. So only starting mech for Lumia, which worked out pretty well. That was the perfect counter to the Baneling Bust. Banshee even taking out another drone here, picking away at the Queen. Still invisibility range of the Spore Crawler, but trying to find openings here. Being very active with this Banshee, I like it. And he's gonna have to reposition the Spore Crawler again, and every time he does that, he loses visibility for a short time. Now there's no opening yet, no opening anymore for the Banshee. But he's still gonna be able to scout and maybe swoop in here, take out the gas, take out the Baneling Nest. Something's gonna be done by this Banshee, I can feel it. Scan reveals, I don't know what. Here the gold base is not taken, which is very comforting if you're Lumia. Bioproduction is about to begin here with a tech lab and 2 reactors. I wonder why he didn't switch to tech lab. He's actually gonna stay on Banshee, so it's gonna be Banshee Bio instead of Banshee Bio with Widow. This is a peculiar composition. Normally you would want to have Medivacs, I guess, with this many Marines, but oh well. It's gonna start stim any second now, I bet. And I'm not sure if this is a timing push or if it's just switching into bio now, but he switched off the tech lab now. He's gonna research combat shield and stim at the same time. Oh, he's actually building another barracks there, okay. So I guess he's gonna switch into medevac now and they're gonna catch up, but potentially. There's Widow Mines out, and honestly I don't know what Zerg can do versus this push. This is a lot of stuff coming his way. And yeah, Zerg does have a lair, so he could get some detection, but he does have none out, and he doesn't really have anything to compete with these Widow Mines. Banshee is still picking away at his base, keeping him busy. And there's more Hellions running in now. Hellions are gonna roast these Lynx. Banshee to support it, and the Widow Mines. If once they're buried, they're just gonna take out everything the Zerg has. And boom goes all the Zerglings, and boom go a lot of Banelings as well. And this is pretty much it for the Zerg. Once the Marines are not even fighting yet. So once the Marines swoop in here, I think Zerg is gonna realize this is in a very tough spot here, and the GG is called. Lumia taking it back 1-1 in this best of 7. Well played, Lumia. Yeah, Nano was a very nice hold. Basically countered his opponent's build. I don't know if something tipped him off. Maybe he goes Baneling Bust every game or something. I don't know. Next up we have Pisosa versus Calmo. On Defender's Landing. And let's see how he shall fare. Our Pisosa. Give it up for all inspirations, Pisosa from Peru, the yellow Zerg in the bottom left. Playing a ZVZ versus Formless Beerslust's Calmo. has a pink Zerg in top right. What the fuck is it with Bearsloths and pink? They're all pink. Why would they all be pink? I don't understand. At least Pisosa had the common courtesy to choose yellow instead of purple. So, good job, Pisosa. You're the guy. And already we have deviations. Pisosa not going for an early gas. Meanwhile, the Bearsloth is rearing up for an early pull. It's gonna be a 14. Sorry. It's gonna be a 14-14. Looks like it putting on the pressure. Not being too greedy here is Pisosa, going for a 17 pull, so he's gonna be able to hold the pressure, which he should spot coming on this map. There's really not too many attack paths on this map. Actually amazing how little the pool is behind if you go pool before gas at 17 compared to 14. And getting 4 links immediately is Calmo. Not getting speed. Yeah, speed is being researched now. And I'm guessing, yeah, Pisosa's speed will be way delayed, so he's gonna play very, very defensively, not gonna try to get out of the map soon. And there's no Baneling Nest coming up for Calmo, so this is gonna be pure Ling, which is way, way weaker than if you had Banelings, because you can defend pure Ling with Lings, even if they're speed Lings versus slow Lings. If you're defending just your bases, you can take that. There's only 4 Lings going out, which is a bit special, I think, for a 14-14. Why would you do a 14-14 only to build 4 Lings? Pisosa has 4 Lings out himself, building a Spinecrawler there just for safety because he saw Lings. There's more Lings moving out now, but even with 8 Lings, it's not going to do much versus the 4 of Pisosa. Pisosa can easily reinforce the Lings. He has a Queen out, which will help defend this base. And now there's creep as well, so once the Queen hits the creep, it should be safe. Yeah, he got this. Look at it. Nice defense here from Pisosa. Only build 2 Lings, adding 3 pairs now as well to be safe for the follow-up, which is still coming. Speed still not started here for Pisosa. I don't know why. Maybe he decides to go for something else first, maybe with a Evo Chamber. Fearing that there might be Banelings soon. Trying to close down now. Actually, are there Banelings coming? Yes, there are Banelings coming, okay. Pisosa now trying to close down the destructible debris here, which is gonna be done in any second. So this forces the other Zerg to attack from here. Making the attack path slightly longer, I believe, but very, very minimally. There's a lot of Lings now coming in, but there's 3 Queens and a Spinecrawler and a lot of slow Lings to defend this. He's gonna snatch a probe or 2, but since Pisosa's actually behind in probes, this is peculiar. So he invested a bit heavily here in Lings, I believe. Also there were, of course, 2 probes killed. But yeah, Calmo is in a nice spot. He's up 3 drones, but the base only just started. So once Pisosa makes a couple of drones, he should be fine. He's also having a Baneling Nest done now, and the layer is coming up. Second Evo Chamber, so he's gonna play an upgrade. How this was actually wasn't an Evo Chamber, so it was a Baneling Nest. Okay. Okay. Thought he started an Evo Chamber there, I was pretty sure. Oh well, anyway. Baneling's out now for Sosa, so he's going to be able to defend, and he should really drone the fuck up now, which he's doing. He's building 5 drones. So is his enemy. Enemy also going roaches now, which might indicate a timing push. No layer yet for Calmo, so Pisosa does definitely nicely ahead in tech. Still 4 drones behind. Queens are going to be easily going to be able to defend this, and might even lose some Lings in the process, which he did not. But I think he ran a Baneling into the wall, which is always nice. I mean, it's 25 gas and the Ling gone. Starting creep spread now is Pisosa, meanwhile at the enemy base. Still no layer in sight. Drones are equal now, so this puts Pisosa in a nice spot because he already has the layer. He doesn't have the Roach Warren though, he's getting it now. And roaches are being made for what looks like to be a timing push. Pisosa already has +1 missile attack started, which I guess he's planning to go Roach Hydra as well. And starting roaches now as well. If we look at the units tab, we currently have 9 roaches, 1 being built for Sosa now, 5 being built for Sosa. Also the layer for Calmo is being done, and this is a nice push coming in here, being spotted now by the Overlord. And I think with these queens and the spine crawler, 2 more spine crawlers being added on here, if Pisosa can just hold on a little while with the 5 roaches incoming, he will be fine here and easily be able to deter this push from Calmo. Once the spine crawl is finished, there's no way Calmo will breach this. The concave for Pisosa is also better. The upgrades are gonna be better once it finishes. But Pisosa's the defender's advantage and 2 spine crawlers still. I don't know why he pulls drones. Totally unnecessary in my opinion. He's up in roaches now. 9-6, and the Lings are not doing very much versus roaches. Anyway, without upgrades at least. Not in this nice concave, and the spine crawlers of course helping out tremendously. Calmo now taking his 3rd almost health done, while Pisosa's a bit late again. Probably gonna be trying to deny this even with Lings. And Pisosa moving out with the roaches, which opens a window of opportunity for Calmo to run up and kill some drones. A bit undecisive there, running back a bit, now focusing down the drones with the A-click and getting a lot of drones in the process. 7 drones killed so far in this game. Queen going down. Roaches are gonna clear this up eventually, putting Pisosa back down 3 workers compared to the 37 that Calmo has. It's not a big deal in this phase of the game. I think Pisosa's up in upgrades, while Calmo's not even started. He's gonna have roach speed soon. Do these roaches have roach speed? I don't believe so. No, they don't. Hydroden now coming up for Calmo, which will put him a little bit ahead in tech, but he's far behind in upgrades. Or he's gonna be far behind. He's gonna be behind 2 missile tech upgrades soon. Pisosa's base is pretty safe at this moment. He's even gonna snipe an Overlord here. Nice takeout. Oh, kill it. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Dude, kill the Overlord. There's like 1 or 2 hits left on it. Oh god. It's such a pity not to kill this Overlord. Oh well, anyway. Another Overlord here is gonna be taken down from Calmo. But Pisosa already built some additional Overlords, so he's not gonna supply block him. Which actually killing this Overlord, I believe, would supply block Calmo now, yes. Nice defensive position here, a lot of Ravagers being morphed, so not going into Hydra attack, but rather Ravagers. And probably going for a push soon is Pisosa. There's a lot of Roaches out, no Hydras yet, and Ravagers and Roach does better. Oh, he's actually gonna try to kill... Jesus Christ! How are you gonna get out of that? Shooting 10 biles there for 1 Overlord is always nice to kill Overlords, and since the bile just regenerates, boom! Yeah, facepalm Nano, right? Well, both parties getting ready for a big attack. Calmo actually being supply blocked here, so falling back a bit in army supply. Pisosa has nicely evened up the worker count so far. Calmo now also getting some Ravagers, of course not as many because he's also building Hydras in the back. And the upgrade has finally started, and once 1-1 is finished, the 2-0 from Pisosa will actually even pretty much even out. So this one, the upgrade advantage will be gone by the time this push hits, so it will be equal, but I think the army supply is bigger. And also Lings don't do anything versus this combo. And I'm not sure, he still hasn't got roach speed. Pisosa, you could chase them and kill them all. I think he doesn't have roach speed now. Yes, he does. Yeah, he does have roach speed now, okay. Anyway, Pisosa is up in army supply by 20. And even with Hydras, once you have Hydras behind the roaches, like 8 or 10 of them, they're really good. But up to that point, they don't have any noticeable advantage over roaches. And Pisosa might not want to attack into this choke here, but if Kalmo decides to come out and Pisosa can land some biles, he will actually do a lot of damage because there's a lot of biles here. Meanwhile, Pisosa taking a fourth behind this. I love this. Putting on pressure, taking a fourth, getting ahead here. Compared to the workers, he's behind now, but once the fourth is up, we will be able to equalize this. Even better if he can spot the fourth of Kalmoy going down here. And he might actually have caught Kalmoy out with his pants down. There's no way Kalmoy can attack into this from the high ground, so this base is gonna go down. This is gonna put Pisosa in a fantastic position. Biles landing there on the Ravagers, everything dying, and at this point I think Pisosa can fucking A-move this game to win. Just keep making units, you're up 70 army supply, or 80 even. And kill fucking everything. He's deciding to take out the Extractor and the Spore Crawler there before... Maybe he was looking for the drones. He's actually gonna spot this fourth as well. And this puts Pisosa in a superb spot. Even though he's still down in workers, he's up 3 times almost the enemy's army supply. And even if Kalmoy went to counter now the production that Pisosa has at home, he actually can't produce anything more soon because he's gonna be maxed. But at this point I feel like Pisosa is way ahead and he could just A-move his way to victory. But why press the issue if you can just get farther ahead? At this point he's on 4 mining bases, well, let's say 3.5, compared to 1.5 for the enemy. It's gonna take down rocks to clear up choke points. And this army is like half the size of Pisosa, so not gonna do anything. Upgrades are gonna... Pisosa's actually switching into melee upgrades now, with a second Evo chamber added. So once this 0-1 finishes, it's gonna be 2-1 with the melee, with the rocket attacks, and it's gonna be up in upgrades as well. Actually, this guy already has 2-1, snuck it in somehow. Pisosa also adding a Spire now, and an Infestor Pit to go to Hive, I suppose. And at this point there's really no rush for Sosa. Even if he could A-move, why would he? If he's up so far, he can just keep denying this third, because once he's into position, he's actually going to deny the fourth here again. And doesn't even get the cancel, so that's 300 minerals gone there. Has to cancel another Ravager morph there, and this is pretty ballsy to just attack in here, but I guess with the Ravager support you technically can. But no need to lose your army over a bad engagement. I wish Sosa had some sneaky overlords hidden somewhere here to see when the base goes down again, but I guess he's suspecting that the base is down there, and once he's again in this spot, you cannot possibly attack from up the ramp. It's you have to stay here to defend. But if you're down in army supply, of course you don't want to get caught out there by him walking in here and just killing your natural. So it's pretty tricky to defend there once the rocks are down. He's also now doing a little run by with 4 or 5 roaches up here, just seeing what's going on. Actually misrallied the drones there to the extractor, picking off some drones, and Pisosa's up 71 to 46 drones now, 4 to 3 bases, from which one base will be... yeah, he's not going to be taken down. Roach push here getting taken out. Army supply is actually pretty even, but look at Pisosa's bank. He's got the tech up. Hive's done now. Upgrades are gonna be 2-2 shortly. Meanwhile, we're still on 2-1 for Kalmo. And yes, he can switch into Ultralisk anytime you want. He can switch into Broodlords once the Greater Spire finishes. Kalmo though deciding to go Lurkers, which is also a very nice unit. But Pisosa still has a shit ton of Ravagers which can take out Lurkers, but he shouldn't be... ah, he knows the army's there, yet he's not concerned. He's moving his army back now. And yeah, Kalmoe knows he's down a lot. Preemptively throwing down Biles there is Sosa. And it's suicide to attack into this choke. Nice Biles there by Kalmo though. taking out some Ravagers off Sosa, who is just reinforcing immediately. Of course, the army size for Calmo is a bit bigger because Sosa has more drones. But look at the bank. Sosa can immediately reproduce a lot of his army. He has 44 larvae banked as well. And Sosa looks like he wants to trade here. The upgrades are equal. The numbers are hard to tell. But it looks like Sosa's coming out ahead. There's also a Spore Crawler fighting from the... Oh, we actually took out Sosa there. Quite surprising. Probably more Ravagers, net better bile, something like that. And Sosa's in a bit of a pickle, building 22 Roaches and 22 Hydras now. But these are gonna come out split over 4 positions, and since Calmo is nicely in the middle of these positions, he's gonna take out the units one by one. This might actually be a tight hold if Sosa doesn't manage to get the Broodlords out in time. Even with Broodlords, I mean, Broodlords are slow, Ravagers can still buy Broodlords, and the Greater Spire gets taken out immediately. Nice of Sosa, they are banking up his units. The Hydras will do a lot of damage. The Broodlords are out now, which will enter the fray immediately. They have not been spotted yet, so the bile is not going to do it, and Sosa's going to be able to clean up this push with an effort. He lost some drones, but he's still up by 11, so we're good. And he has got Broodlords out, which are terrifying units. And even Lurkers, I mean, what are you gonna do versus Broodlords with the Lurkers? They're just gonna die. Nice run by here from Calmo, trying to find some damage, but there's Roaches in the Spinecrawler waiting at the 4th base. The 5th is also up and running. Meanwhile, Calmo's still on 3 bases, 2 bases. Pretty much, one is mined out, one is non-existent, so he's effectively maining from 1 base plus about 3 gas or 4. And there's the GG. He's also putting us up 2-1 in this series. Well played, Sosa. You fucking beast. So we casted 5 games now. We have, I think, 4 left to go. Possibly 3, I don't know. Yeah, we have 4 sets left to go. So we're gonna just take a little break. We will be right back. Alright, boys, we're back. Moving into set 3, which is me versus Coast. Let's see what me did. Actually, time to switch the scene. So, the map is Abyssal Reef. And we have, in the bottom right corner, we have the green Protoss, whose name is Coast from Formula's Beer Sloths. In the top left, we have Allin's FxB, which is me. And me is trying to proxy hatch the toss with this drone. Building the hatch right about here, where he can see it, even if he builds a perfect wall here, which I tried out nicely. Let's see if this works. For us, building a wall on the low ground, which is quite common on this map, would probably just die to a 12th pool, I guess. There's way too much surface area to cover. Gonna scout with the gateway probe, and is gonna see a lack of hatchery and pool. Hatchery is gonna go down any second now. Not quite sure where to put it yet, but down it goes. Yes. Drone here is trying to deter the Protoss from scouting up, and he's not gonna fall for it actually. He notices the hatch is late because he's good. He notices there's no pool, which tells him there's something weird going on. Nicely scouting around. And hey, wait, the hatch is still not down, so this is finally gonna tip him off. Of course I don't have the money to build a second hatch, so I'm really committed to this. He's gonna try to deny now, but I'm pretty sure he noticed that something is wrong here. Meanwhile, he has expanded, of course. He's gonna build a full wall here from the from the high ground. And the cybernetics core is going down. He's gonna scout some more with this probe, looking for hidden shit, because Zerg is sneaky sometimes. And scouting... not scouting the hatchery yet, actually. That's a pity for the Protoss. Building a wall here. My probes actually maybe have tipped him off that there's something fishy going on here, finally. Pool is done, so I can build spine crawlers with the drones, which I should be doing right now. A probe's also gonna scout this. And at this point I might just abort the whole thing, because I'm not getting the spine crawler up. And it's gonna be a tough hold to come back from this, obviously. This hatch is not going to do anything, even if I build more spines or something. The Zealot and the probes will take it down. It's delaying his economy a bit. We're still equal in workers, and I'm of course taking a second immediately, while the macro hatch will go down, but it still puts me behind. My queen tries to kill his Zealot here, and he's going into another gateway. So 2 gates. Probably still scared that there's some shit coming out of the hatchery. I might have just built lings and killed all his stuff, but at this point I was not sure I could make it, so I decided to abandon my plan and take a double expansion and drone up and get lings. Because lings good unit, so he's gonna be able to take down this proxy hatch, of course. Taking a Twilight Council now. So let's see what he decides to do. Is he going to sell it? Is he going to stalker with Blink? Or is he going to get an adapt? Had I known, had I scouted that there's no units out, I would have just built a shit ton of lings and ran him over. Getting a robotics now and walling up completely, because probably afraid of a shit ton of lings. Who wouldn't be? Still some drones hanging out here doing nothing, which is of course not good. And I guess we're gonna see a Zealot stuff going down. There's a nice pylon here for more gateways. Are gonna happen soon, I'm sure. And then we're gonna have a speedlot sellout all in on our hands here from the toss. Which, since I am behind in workers, of course, is gonna be tough to hold. I have some links I'm gonna scout with them now, it seems. Put them across the map. The drones have finally been recalled home. And the warp prism is coming out here soon, I suspect. Maybe even an observer first. Meanwhile, more drones and links from FxB. And since I saw the Twilight Council, I believe. Nope, I saw the Robo, so this might be a Dark Shrine, because TUS are sneaky bastards sometimes too. So I'm getting spoke rollers, which of course, in case of Zealots, are not gonna do anything. First warm prism is on the way here, Zealot speed's almost done, and a gateway explosion is happening here, going to an 8 gate. The mostest gates you can support from 2 bases if you build nothing but Zealots, I suppose. And the warp prism is ready, the gates are gonna be ready soon, so I'm about to get a lot of Zealots into my face. I have 2 Banelings and 8 links to defend this, which is gonna be a little tough. Warp prism moving across the map here. Zealots also moving across the map, me seeing this. Currently, of course, supply blocked. As always, when I see a push coming out, I'm supply blocked. And thus not able to build units, even though I'm floating 800 minerals and I have 15 larvae. I could be building 30 lings right now. And which I'm gonna do now. Look, 30 lings coming in. I'm still gonna have 2 base, although there's another Zealot attack coming in from the right. A second warp prism actually gonna make my day a living hell. And lings are about to pop and they're gonna clean up the Zealots, but not very cost efficiently. Of course he's dropping on the high ground as well now, laying terror to my creep, as one would say. Zealots are doing very well versus lings and drones and queens and buildings. And I am lacking the time to build banelings, it seems. My other queen will pop shortly to drive the warp prism away. I'm not allowing him to warp in there, but he's still warping in on the high ground, and there's a lot of Zealots whacking away at everything I have. At this point, I think the number of Zealots has snowballed so hard that my lings won't be able to trade very nicely, because the Zealots are standing shoulder to shoulder, and you really want to surround them with the lings. And it's only gonna get worse since I lost so many drones. I cannot support my 3 base link production anymore. And even though I am still holding, I am getting worn down quickly. Looks like I failed to destroy the warp prism here with my queen, which will not help me at all. And the Zealots are moving down to my last mining base now, laying waste to my last remaining queen and drones. Spine crawlers are finishing up, but not quite in time. And there's still more Zealots being warped in, and slowly realizing that I'm probably dying here is FxB. And this is what happens if you don't commit fully to a proxy hatch. And there's the GG. Coast tying out the series once again. We're 2-2 versus Formless Bear Sloths at this point. Alright, let's move on. Actually, is it 2-2? This was set 3, set 4. Ultraless. We skipped set 4. Jesus Christ. Okay, yes, it's 2-2, and we skipped set 4. So we're gonna see Ultralisk. Ultralisk versus Arthemiel. Who's gonna win? Is the current series currently tied, so basically it's down to a best of 3. We need 2 more wins. Bear Sloths need 2 more wins. And we're gonna see who wins this game. In the bottom left of Proxima Station, we have Formless Bear Sloths, Arthemiel as a teal Protoss. And going for the hard to see purple because he hates casters and me specifically is our very own All Inspirations Ultralisk as a Zerg. Doing a fancy extractor trick there because he probably forgot the Overlord, as happens sometimes. Maybe also just to start one drone a bit earlier. Gonna send him out to scouting immediately. Meanwhile, the Toss is gonna wall up here up the ramp because he has an in-base expansion. He doesn't need to wall up down at the front and be risky because this is like half a map away from his base, let's be honest. This is very, very far away. Probe is going to scout hatch first from Ultralisk into gas, into pool possibly. Maybe, I don't know. What the fuck is happening? Oh, he built the gas very early, I don't know. Maybe he wants to try something fancy. Still no pool, still no money for pool. We're at 18 now, so very, very greedy here is Ultralisk. Finally dropping the pool at 18 supply. Hatch almost half done by the time that happens, and of course Toss taking his Nexus as well. We have one gate ready, no cybercore yet, even though he would have the money. So maybe he's currently busy microing his probe that died. Okay. I guess it died, I don't know. No, he's hidden it here. Hard to see on this. Look, almost looks like the minerals, these probes here. So finally cybernetic score is going down. I don't know what he wants to do with his probe. Maybe just scout or maybe build some fancy proxy tech there, pile in the gate, or I don't know. Hatchery gonna go down soon here, and once it finishes it will spot the probe anyway because of the creep spread. Getting 2 queens now is Ultralisk upon finishing off the pool, and I'm betting link speed is coming soon thereafter. Here we go. Hovering a lot of gas, so I don't know what he plans to do this. Taking another gas now, Jesus Christ, okay, he's definitely planning something. This is a very early second cast, there's not even a hatchery down. He actually decided to not build the hatchery. So this might be Mutalisk or a Roach Ravager push, I guess. No lair yet, so no Mutas, I guess. Actually building a Stalker to shoo away the Overlord and ultimately kill him. 4 slowlings are gonna scout out what they can. And moving into Adepts. Finally getting a lair now with his excess gas. And I'm not sure why he's getting so much gas so early still. So I'm really wondering what he tries to do with this. Not trying to get upgrades because they would have started already if he wanted to. We could build both of them right now. And I'm still kind of guessing Mutas. But still, the gas was very early for Mutas as well. And also you want to take the other gases as well here. So, yeah, confusing me and probably his opponent is Ultralisk here. Spreading some creeps, always nice. The Lings, meanwhile, have developed speed and saw some of the enemy's base. Pretty much all of it. Probably even saw the Robo there. Didn't see the additional gateways, but these are pretty much implied once the Protoss gets ready on 2 base economy. There's gonna be a gateway explosion happening because you need something to build your stuff with. The gates have not been transformed yet, although the warp gate tech is ready. He's doing that now. Warp prism's almost ready, so we're gonna see possibly Immortal drop with warp ins. 3 gates to warp in will be ready once the warp prism hits. Immortal's not gonna be taken on the journey, and Ultralisk going into Hydra pretty much instantly after the lair, being on 2 base economy, staying on 2 base economy, on 3 gas. So, oh, a Nidus worm, look at this fancy, amazing gaming happening here with Nidus technology. Needs to take care not to lose this Overseer because he needs something to drop the Hydra as a, to drop the Nidus worm, and the 2 Stalkers might just kill this guy. And this will delay the And the sentry tickles it to death. And this will delay any Hydra tech, of course. There's a Warp Prism nicely hidden up there. Gonna try to do something, but there's 5 queens waiting for it. It's like 5 or 6 volleys and that thing dies. But no Overlord, no Vision, has Ultralisk, so no Nidacy stuff going down. 3 more gates at the natural. 2 Immortals are out. They are not very good versus Hydras, of course. And actually it's gonna be a Lurkinitis. Something Grip likes to do versus Terran. And I'm pretty sure it will work nicely versus Protoss, because Protoss seem to have skipped the Observer. Nope, there's one out. And it's not too far away as well. So this might work out nicely, and this looks like he's gonna try to drop the Nidus here somewhere, maybe? Yes. This is gonna get spotted, of course, by the Observer. Not quite, nope. It's gonna get spotted now. Is it? Nope. Adept warping happening there, being cleaned up by the Hydras pretty much instantly. Can they shade away? Yes, one is probably gonna make it. Yes. Safes into safety, which is a death trap in itself. Meanwhile, there's a lot of queens, a lot of creep, and 2 lurkers. And I wish he would have brought an Overseer along, because then he could just kill the Observer, forcing Protoss to make another one. Lurkers are not ready yet. Even if they do, they just die. There's only queens here. And the Guardian shields are very, very strong versus Hydras. They're being cleaned up now. Some transfuses might go down. Nope. Okay, and the push gets cleaned up. And the queens are gonna die, because they're slow as fuck. There was a lot of energy on this queen set to not see them being used to transfuse themselves. Link is gonna clean up this Adept here eventually, but Zerg is still only on 2 base and down in workers, down in army supply. So it's looking tough. This push is gonna be strong. TOS pushes tend to be strong in general, especially when you are down in economy. And they might just outright kill you, because Immortals are good units. Immortals kill buildings very fast. Defensive buildings don't do shit versus Immortals. Adepts kill light units pretty fast, even without the Glaive upgrade. And yeah, any second TOS waits, those might get out more units. His economy is gonna kick in. Although Protoss himself is taking a 3rd base now. And he's gonna push now. There's no Observer though, so the Lurkers are gonna pretty much hold this push on their own. The Observer is still not anywhere in sight, so... Oh, actually it's here now, okay. So this will of course help tremendously. Once the Lurkers are down, this army gets shredded. And the Lurker's still alive actually, still doing damage. One of them is still sending out his spiked arms to kill Protoss' stuff. Of course, Adepts can just bypass this very, very nicely. And versus this many Adepts, you cannot fight with Lings. You need either a lot of Hydras or Banelings to deal with this. Since there's no Baneling nest out and no Hydras inside, Lings are just gonna die instantly to these Adepts. Not even attacking with the rest of his army, and there's the GG from Ultralisk. Taking the Bear Sloths up 3-2. Yes. 3-2. I'm confused. I'm not sure about the score. Let me calculate. Let me calculate. Okay, so okay, we're still missing the games of Hades and Do Try. So yeah, currently Bear Sloths are up 3-2. And let's see what Hades decided to do to Weapons in set. Well, actually no, we're gonna do Try versus Dottles. Since it's set 2, we're gonna do it from back. Sequencer. Personally, for me, one of the worst maps in the map pool, although they are all really, really bad, in my opinion. I don't like them. Do Try versus Dottles are now Diamondy. Do try guy fighting one of his last platinum battles. Un sequencer, le sequencer. Right, so in the bottom left we have the blue Protoss. It's formless better sloths, Duttles. They seem to have been playing before. And in the top right, can he be a hero? Can he avert the 4-2? It is all inspirations do try in green as a Terran. So A, we have a TVP going on. This has not happened in a long time, I believe. At least I don't think I casted one in a long time. This is a matchup I have absolutely no idea of, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just going to shit talk everything they do and complain how imba their races are while we have a good time. Does that sound like a plan? 2 SCVs moving down here. Doing something down here. Probably going to scout, I'm supposing. Quite the queer path here, checking for proxies. The other SCV as well. So, yes. Do try. Wanting to be damn sure there's no sneaky proxy going on here. I mean, it's a bit early for that, I believe. I don't know what TOS usually proxies at, but at least it's gonna be sure there's nothing fancy happening. And there's actually a probe from Duttles moving to the right side of the map, placing a proxy. Who would have thought? Isn't this in the range of the watchtower here? I mean, just saying, it's probably not the best spot for a proxy if there's a watchtower in range of the proxy, because eventually somebody might walk by the proxy, the watchtower. Anyway, Dude tries gonna scout, gonna see one pylon is lacking here, so he's gonna know there's a pylon somewhere on the map. By this time, I suppose? Yes, because otherwise Doodles... Yeah, well, okay, he's putting one down now, so that might still be in time. Playing sneaky here. Meanwhile, Do Try is getting a lot of barracks, apparently. Okay. Yeah, why not? I mean, barracks, good unit. Making men with gun is never wrong. And is this gonna be a proxy Stargate, a proxy gateway to warp in? What are we gonna see here from Duttles? It's gonna be a proxy Stargate. Meanwhile, Dutry is still looking for that proxy, which he assumes is there, because probably Duttles did this in the last few games as well. Duttles about to take his expansion as well, but still down quite a bit in minerals to be able to do so. Meanwhile, we have an expansion ready here. The command center is ready, and now we have an orbital command made out of it, meaning more mules, more cooldowns, whatever. Making men with gun is Dutry. No add-ons needed here for men with gun for the moment. Just getting enough. Is he suspecting Oracle play, I wonder, because there's probably gonna be one. Yes, there we go. Even chrono boosting it out to be able to send. I think you need 7 Marines to kill an Oracle, if I'm correct. I think 6 will die to an Oracle. He might, I don't know. So yeah, the more Marines he has, the better, because Oracles are shit fuckers. They hurt a lot. A probe gonna scout some stuff here. Gonna see the fat Marine painted on the ground there. And luring the Marines away. Oracle is out, but not moving yet. Maybe he's saving some energy. Moving out now is the Oracle of Duttles. Marines will not spot this. There's 3 Marines there, which is not quite enough, but the others are nearby, so they might just... Yeah, he spots it now. He's just parked there, so he's gonna move the Marines under it and just shoot it down and kill it! Yes! In a green explosion, the Oracle perishes, which makes my heart sing. It's always nice to see the Oracle die without doing damage to my teammates. Second one is on the way. And this is already a very, very, very costly endeavor for Duttles. If he's gonna keep losing the Oracles, he's gonna get some damage in now. 1, 2... Definitely not worth it. Even losing the Oracle, not quite. Okay, he's getting away. But only getting 2 SCVs for 2 Oracles is not worth it. He's gonna check for a third here with his probe. way behind for some reason in workers. He's transferring them over now. Alright. Of course, Terran has mules too, so he's actually way ahead in worker supply. Marines running around like ants that lost their queen without any noticeable pattern or sense, patrolling to keep safe from another oracle. We have a void ray out now, and I guess he lost the oracle. Nope, it's still around somewhere. Let's find it. Oh, it's at home. Okay. Void ray is gonna move home as well, and showing no sign of wanting to take another basis to try. Meanwhile, got a factory, got 2 tech labs on his barracks and reactor. Gonna get a starport, moving into Marine Medevac mine play now. Mines are very potent, especially in Gold and Platinum League, I believe, because we Plats don't know how to deal with mines efficiently, most of us anyway. Although they're probably not as strong versus TOS as they are versus Zerg, because you can kill a whole swarm of Zerglings with one shot of this mine. It's of course gonna be very nice versus Oracles trying to harass, but Oracle is still at home chilling. There's an Immortal out. We're gonna have... Why Hades? Why are we talking about Hades? No, this is Duttles versus Dutry, bro. We're gonna do it by the order, reversed, 7-1. Yeah, he's building Zealots, he's building Adepts, he's building 1 unit of each kind, it seems. 1 Void Ray, 1 Mothership Core, 1 Oracle. So he's also gonna get Robotics Bay for a Colossus. Okay, well, Colossus are good versus Marines, of course. As long as there's no Vikings out, it's gonna be tough, but there's Marauders now being added. Upgrades are quite nicely being done by Dutry. Protoss at the moment doesn't have any upgrades. Meanwhile, the Terran is gonna be 1-1 in a matter of seconds. Getting his +1 upgrade now is the TOS, as well as Zealot Speed, which is very cheap these days for 100-100. And probably gearing up for either a drop or a push is Dutry. His 2 Medevacs ready, 2 more will follow. Actually, nope. Okay. 1 Liberator will follow shortly, so only 2 Medevacs for this many Marines. He's loading up a mine and a couple of Marines, leaving the rest at home, taking his 3rd at the small base here. Meanwhile, the Protoss taking his 3rd at the full base down here. So even though they're equal on bases, they might... Oh, actually, with the probe there, Protoss spots the drop that came in, which is unfortunate because it's going to be warned now. Is he reacting though? There's enough stuff at home to defend versus 10 drops, it looks like. So I don't think Dutry's going to find too much damage here. The Colossus is going to be able to shell away at him from the back, and Zealots are going to make short work of the Mariners. Also, there's pylons for the overchargings. And he's actually bringing a Liberator along as well. Well, I guess he could do some damage if he manages to burrow the Widowmine, but there's a pylon waiting for him, so it's gonna get spotted before it even unloads, and as we all know, Terran units unload not quite as fast as they load up, so... he might just load up again and run the fuck away. Not using an overcharge is Duttles, but sending the Void Ray after. And losing it, maybe? Nope. He might actually decide to engage here, which would not be the wisest choice from Duttles here, because, let's be honest, if your army is split like that, Terran might take out a Colossus or 2 if he's quick enough. But Dutry is deciding to drop again at another place, forcing the Protoss to run around, possibly picking up these 2 Zealots with minor losses to the Marines, and in course losing all of the drop pretty much instantly. Boom, there goes the drop. Meanwhile at home, 2-2 is almost finished. Let me just drink something here before I die. Alright, I'm still alive, I'm still good. Don't call 911 because it's not working in Switzerland. Having Liberators out is always nice. You can fight positional battles here. They could also help to shoot Colossi, although they are not very good at killing them. But with this many Marines, with 2-2, he's gonna be in a good spot. The Colossi, the 2 Colossi that are out right now, 3 Colossi, nope, wait, 3 Colossi. Alright, I'm not gonna do too well. Once they're in range of the Marines, they're just gonna melt because they're 2-2. Meanwhile, the TOS army is still on 1-0. Soon to be 2-0. Extended thermal lance is being researched. The cannon is being added to the back of the natural in order to avoid the droppings. And the Terran March of Doom has begun. There's Vikings out, there's Liberators out, there's some mines and a lot of men with gun and one single Marauder. Because Marauder good unit. Also he's getting Liberator range, I believe. Is this Liberator range? I can't see it, but I'm guessing it is. Which will of course help him to siege up the stuffs. And he decides to go do some damage. The Protoss army is waiting here at the 3rd, and it looks like Dutra is deciding to go exactly there. There's an observer which will spot this attack incoming and might just catch him before he's set up. Nope, Liberators are ready. And at this point the Protoss cannot really attack into this. Oh my god, a stim has happened. And the Colossi are getting focused down, but meanwhile the Zealots are actually killing everything. So focusing on the Colossi there, of course, a good choice, but maybe not the wisest one, because now there's a shit ton of Zealots out and no Mariners to counter it. There's a Widowmine and 4 Marines on the map currently. Well, 8 Marines and 2 Widowmines. Well, where's the second Widowmines? Birds out here somewhere, probably. Even gonna lose a Medevac and possibly a Viking. Nope. Okay. 2 Liberators, 3 Liberators are gonna secure the entrance to Dutra's bases here. He's on 4 base currently and adding another starport, some more barracks. SCV's idling here, not the best thing to do for them. Also getting 3 attack is already ready and 3 armor will be coming soon. And since Protoss has only gotten 1 armor so far, he's quite behind in upgrades. So currently Protoss is 2-1, while the Terran will shortly be 2-3. Yes, he's gonna be ahead in upgrades quite hard. He's 3-2 now, so yeah, 3-3 Marines are shredding everything, especially if TOS does not upgrade armor. He's moving into Air TOS now with the Fleet Bacon. It's always nice to have bacon. And yeah, there's a lot of Zealot in this army, and I don't know, normally I guess Terran would deal with tanks with the Zealots, or possibly Widow Mines, I don't know, I guess Marines are not bad as well. But Zealots are quickly moving in onto the Mariners. Oh, he finally finds the Stargate, takes it down, it's with the pylon as well. Not gonna matter though, because Tuttle's already maxed on pylon supply. And yeah, Zealots personally scare me because they're good against a lot of things that Zerg has, but I would just Baneling the shit out of this army, but I have no idea how Terran would ever deal with this. But I'm guessing Marines are the answer, because Marines are the answer to a lot, apparently. Also, maybe would want to repair this Viking, because let's face it, if a Zealot looks at it falsely, it might just fall from the sky. The lone Rauder, which is not so lone anymore, apparently, there's 3 Rauders out now, is scouting, and a 5th base is coming down here for Mr. Dutry. There's a lot of Liberators out, which is quite a healthy count, which will make it pretty much impossible to attack in here. Every shot will probably mean a Zealot's life. Actually, can they kill Zealots with 1 hit? Nope! This is probably not a good idea to attack up there. Let the Protoss come to you and let him run into the meat grinder. Phoenix go down. And yes, I'm not sure. It's probably not a good idea to run up there into the choke point when there's 2 Colossi out still. There's also not enough medevacs to currently heal this army, and as long as they're in move command, they cannot be healed. So the Colossi will do a shit ton of damage to this army, but eventually the Zealots are gonna be cleaned up and the Mariners can just evaporate the rest of the Protoss army, because the Zealots were really the only thing that kept this alive. And at this point Bottles is deciding to switch to Stalkers for a harassment, which, I don't know, probably a good idea versus the Liberators, because Stalkers do great against those. They need 3 hits to kill a Stalker, but with this many Liberator and Marines as support, the Stalker army just dies. And at this point Protoss has 6 friggin' army supply versus 84. Dude tries also up 10 drones, so I guess, guys, we have this in the back and are going to tie the series 3-3, so this is going to match 7. What an exciting series. Mariners running along the map. Almost more Liberators on the field than Marines. Definitely enough to kill everything the Protoss has. You can just siege up here and let them shoot. Even sieging up in front and on the mineral lines. Every shot is a drone killed. Every shot is the toss falling farther behind. And every shot the Marine makes, almost every volley, kills a building. All the drones have perished. There's only 1 cannon left there to defend, and even that will not last very long against these Marines with 3-3. Protoss buildings just evaporate, same as versus Lings. Upgrades are very, very strong for small units. They scale so nicely. Of course, Terran has the adrenal glands built in with stim from an early age. But they also lose health, so it's fine. Liberator is actually taking down the Mothership Core and the Colossus, even though they take like 10 volleys to kill it, they eventually do. And Duttles calls the GG because he realizes he cannot deal with the blunt force of all inspirations. Platinum Terran do try, which ties out the series. Well played to try. Moving on to set 1. It is the question: can our gold Terran, all inspirations Hades, kill the Wabbits to secure the victory in week 3 for all inspiration? Let's find out now on FxB's Twitch channel. Ladies and gentlemen, in the bottom right, this is game 7 of this best of 7, which means the winner wins the week. It's Formless Bear Sloths Wabbits as a Zerg in teal versus our very own, our most important player this week. On his shoulders lieth the victory or death. It's all inspirations Hades as an orange Terran. Zerg not doing anything fancy, getting up to 17 drones. Probably gonna take a hatchery first, because that's just what we Terrans do versus Zergs do versus Terran. Nope. He's gonna opt for the 17 pool instead, which is also a valid opener. Really doesn't very much matter, to be honest. Meanwhile, Hades, of course, going for the gas, the barracks, a second gas being taken on, so he seems to be wanting to tech some in the early game. The Zerg is taking his natural before the gas, so not quite such a standard build. Normally you take the gas and the pool pretty much at an equal time in order to have 100 gas once the pool pops to have Zergling speed out. Walling up immediately, because 12 pools are a thing in ZVT, is Hades. Meanwhile, we see 2 overlords moving across the map slowly in their slowly lumbering pace. Zerg's gonna saturate the gas immediately. Nothing too fancy happening here. We have a back factory being added here, in order not to be spotted directly if you walk up the ramp. It's always nice to hide your tech if you're Terran, forcing the Zerg to either make a run in somehow past the depots when it's down, or alternatively flying in with an overlord that can of course be taken down with Marine, and there's 2 fancy SCVs moving across the map doing something. No, 6 Lings coming in. There's gonna be 2 Marines out by the time they hit, so no big deal there. Let's see what Hades wants to do here. It's a proxy starport. Holy shit. It's 2 proxy starports! What the fuck? Okay, this is gonna be fancy. How are you gonna spot proxy starports? You're not. Where's the second Marine? Where is the second Marine? He built another Marine. Did he build a Reaper? Oh, the Marine actually moved out, I guess. Well, 1 Marine can still hold this with a couple of SCVs helping. The Overlord is gonna run in here. Meanwhile, the 2 starports, the proxy starports, are almost finished. 6 Zerglings still awaiting here to do something. And the Widow Mine is pretty much gonna be saving... Ah, he was building a reactor. Okay, another Marine. The Widow Mine is pretty much gonna save everything from these links, because if they run in together... Oh, we have 2 tech labs being added here to the starports. Yeah, 2 port Banshee. Fucking looks like it, right? And we're gonna see Cloak. Nope. We're not gonna see Cloak. We're gonna see Banshees, because Banshee better than Cloak. Yes. It's gonna be nasty, man. Okay, I mean Zerg is kind of taking his lair early enough of 2 base to have a scout ready, but honestly, even if you have scouting probabilities, you only have 1, 2, 3 queens, which might work out if they're together. But there's 2 banshees coming out. They're gonna have Cloak anyway, and probably it's not gonna end with 2 banshees. I believe there's gonna be more. Also, Hades was supply blocked for quite a long time now, which he has fixed. The mine is a quite nice position to defend everything that might come here. And I bet Zerg's getting a bit nervous now because he knows there's no expansion. He also hasn't really spotted anything inside the base of his opponent, except for that reactor. Reactor barracks here. That barracks. It's called barracks. Fistman. Remember it. And where is he pulling the banshees? He's pulling them down here, so there's gonna be at least 3 banshees out with Cloak. And there is no spoke crawler. There's a lair already, yes, but there is no detection warp. He's building roaches. Looks like he wants to go for some sort of roach push, or he's expecting a 1 base play here from Dutry. There's nothing to prepare him for double starport banshees. This queen's just gonna get wrecked in a couple of volleys here. Boom, now the banshees have free reign. I don't know why he cloaks here, because there's nothing that can shoot up. He might have wanted to cloak earlier. Gonna take down the spoke roller immediately and just go to town on these drones. It's a slaughter of fest. There's 9, 10, 11, 12. Every volley is a dead drone. This really hurts my soul as a Zerg, but as a teammate of Hades, it makes me smile a bit. The only thing that can shoot up is a queen. The second queen is out somewhere on the map, not helping here, so the queen just gets taken down. At this point, there's really nothing that can shoot up. There's no way a Spore Crawler is going to finish in time. Even if it did finish somewhere and root with 3 Banshees, you can pretty much fuck up a Spore Crawler instantly. Also, these roaches moving out on the map are gonna get picked off by the Banshees. There's 1 Widow Mine, 3 Widow Mines, and a couple of Marines ready there. I don't know if I want to go out there, because there's a lot of roaches coming. The Banshees are a bit too slow to follow the roaches, because he got speed for them. But if he burrows the Widow Mines, like here or here, then once the roaches move up the ramp, he's gonna die. He's deciding to move back now, which I find peculiar, because there's no way you're coming back from this attack. He didn't even build a Spore Crawler yet, so the Banshees are still a very, very real threat for the Zerg. Even though he started producing them again, so there's gonna be 5 Banshees out. 5 Banshees, so many Banshees. At this point, he might even want to add Hyperflight Rotor just because he can, because it doesn't really matter. The screen is just gonna evaporate again. Maybe try to take down a Banshee in the process. He should really focus on the Spore Crawler there, because it's gonna block him from attacking the main mineral line. Of course, the Ravagers might theoretically take down Banshees, but Banshees are really quick, and if you're not if you're watching, there's no way they're gonna hit you. Of course, there's a Spore Crawler now, but it's not gonna really matter. He decides to just take it down, which I don't know. At least he's microing his units back, not losing. Okay, he lost the Banshee to the Queen there. Taking down the Spore Crawler though. Not sure if this was necessary, but there's 2 more Banshees waiting here. And once these come in, I think Rabbit is gonna know he's really fucked now, because the Spore Crawler's gone, the Queen is gone. This was also the last Queen. There's no more Spore Crawler. And more drones are being annihilated here. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 almost. Yeah, he's not even building queens. He's trying to get up 2 Spore Crawlers now, and he might very well do it. But deciding to go for the hatchery though, I don't know if I agree. Drones should always be your prime target, especially if you're not building SCVs behind this and floating 1,000 minerals. Hades, you need to build more shit. There we go, more benches are being built. Maybe add another Rex or 2. Other command centers being added, might as well add another one at this point. And build some SCVs to get your economy up. Or, you know, just build another starport or 2 and build more Banshees to kill the Zerg once and for all. There's 2 Spore Crawlers now, but the base where the drones are mining is completely unprotected. There's like 2 or 6 roaches left, which are of course no match for 4 Banshees. A Queen is out again, but as soon as the other 2 Banshees join in, this Queen is not gonna do anything. He's trying to build another 2 Spore Crawlers. He should probably move these up here. And this would be a perfect opportunity to take them down while they're not buried yet. And yeah, they're gonna bury in a completely wrong spot. And more drones are being massacred here. 31 drones so far. 35 drones. And this is really at a point now where Wabbits must realize he's fucked. Because he's losing his lair now. He's down 10 drones. And he doesn't know how far back behind he actually is. He might be way, way farther behind if Hades wouldn't place so much emphasis on this Banshee rest, because then he could macro a bit better behind and maybe be like 20 workers up. At this point, it really doesn't matter. Zerg's gonna lose all his tech. He still has money for another Nexus, Okay, he has money for 1 more layer, hatchery. Last Queen's going down. This was the last thing that could actually shoot up, so at this point it's just a matter of finding the buildings. The last few drones are going down here. 1 is actually running away, the last drone running away down here. And at this point Wabbits is just prolonging the game. There's no way he's coming back. He only has 200 minerals left. This will take forever. Finally spots the proxy here. And these 2 SCVs might very well kill this drone here. I'm guessing he's gonna cancel it and build it down here or something like that, just to prolong the game a bit. There we go, he canceled it, so he can build 1 more hatch. And the last hatchery is going down with the last drone, so this is the last hatchery that Hades is ever going to have to kill. There's also 1 roach currently shelling away at the expansion of Hades, getting taken out by some men with gun. And scan energy is being used to find the hatchery, meanwhile the SCVs just find it there. And Wabbits is gonna GG, and Hades takes the series, the game, and the week. Well played, Hades. That was brutal, man. Well, anyway, this concludes last week's CTL cast. This week we're actually off. And next week we're gonna launch into week 5. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to cast it because I'm actually going on a vacation and at the end of next week for a week. So you guys have fun and have a nice evening. Thank you. Bye bye.